Threes, everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode. This is the show where I talk about 3 brand new singles every single week. Today I'm just gonna jump right into it because we got new singles from Neck Deep, Orbit Culture, and the new Reflections album. It came out on the 14th, but I have to talk about it because, well, I'll get to that. So we're gonna start off by talking about the new single from Neck Deep called Lowlife. This is from their upcoming album, All Distortions Are Intentional. And I say this every episode, but I love this band. This band is incredible. It's a pop-punk band that released an album called The Peace and the Panic in 2017, and it's one of my favorite pop-punk albums of all time, and generally just one of my favorite albums ever. This band really connects with me, and that album in particular is really important to me. And I keep coming back to it because it's just an album that I really connect with, lyrically, and just the whole style of the album as well. It's pop-punk, but it's like, it really feels like an album where they just kind of nailed pop-punk. Like, it's pop-punk, but there's a bunch of experimentation on it, like the song Motion Sickness, which is a bit of a heavier kind of track, just kind of. And of course, Don't Wait, featuring Sam Carter of Architects, which is something that I just didn't expect at all, but it 100% works, and that feature is incredible. And last year they released a song called She's a God, and it was pretty alright. It was enjoyable, but I don't really come back to it as often as something off of The Peace and the Panic or previous albums of theirs. And they also released some B-sides from The Peace and the Panic, and they're pretty good. They're pretty decent. So of course, I was excited to hear that they released a new song, and I wish I could love this song, but I don't think I really do. Hi, Editing KECK here. I just wanted to jump in and say that this song has really grown on me a lot. I mean, I think I had a pretty positive view on it while recording this video, but I just feel like the melody and the energy of the song really works, so it's a fun song. I don't care. But I do still stand by the points that I made in the video, though, so I feel comfortable, you know, uploading this. So I just wanted to jump in and say that. The lead single from All Distortions Are Intentional introduces the audience to the main character, Jet, and the love of his life, Alice. Lowlife details the world they live in, one where they're outcasts but aren't really bothered by it. It shows how they criticize everyone else and how they all believe them to be stupid young teens. There are plenty of things I enjoy about the track. It still has that Neck Deep feel, even though it's kinda different. The melody is still there, the verse melodies are really fucking good, and Ben's delivery is still fantastic, and it really makes the verses interesting, and the whole song, really. But I think what this song is kind of lacking, in my opinion, and She's a God kind of, is on the lyrical side of things, because I don't really connect with it in the same way that I did with their previous material. And it sucks, because I really want to love this song, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know, they don't really give me that much to dive into. The Peace and the Panic touched on relationships and social anxiety and even politics and losing someone, and it's an album that I think a lot of people can connect with, and it still feels, you know, very personal to the band. And while this song lyrically it's not awful, it just does not connect with me in the same way, really. I do like the vocal effects on his voice, though. It's this slightly distorted, reverby kind of thing. I'm fucking professional. You hear how fucking good I am at explaining shit? But I do really like the verses, though. I really like the melody of the verses and the delivery and just it's nice. There are also a few kind of lyrics that I think are a little bit weird, like, you're a normie, so fucking boring. I do like the line about drinking coffee on a trampoline, though, and I really like his delivery with that. I just wish there was something more to it. You know, I mean, it works if they're gonna go with concepts, but I don't know. I'm not 100% there yet, but I will definitely be checking out the album because it's Neck Deep, and I'm not gonna let this ruin the album. Like, I want to check it out. I'm not gonna just ignore it and then realize 2 years later that it's the best fucking album I've ever heard in my life, you know? Overall, I think it's an enjoyable song, but I don't feel like it hits me in the same way as some of their previous stuff, but it's not 100% fair to really compare it to that, because they're going for something different, and I can appreciate that, and I really hope they continue to experiment, because that's all I want a band to do. If a band doesn't experiment, it just becomes boring, and I never want to listen to that band again. But I encourage them to keep experimenting with shit, and yeah, I'm interested to see what the future holds for them. Also, I do have to say that my opinions can change, and I probably will end up liking it a bit more in the future. And yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on it. Let me know what you think of the song in the comments down below. Our next single is coming from Orbit Culture with their new song, Rebirth. Orbit Culture is a death metal band, and one really interesting thing about them is that they kind of sound like if you took Scar Symmetry and mixed them with Metallica, because those clean moments really sound like they could have been like a heavier Metallica kind of thing. And it's cool. And this new song, we're hearing a lot more of it. This is a lot more melodic than their other material, which I do like because they're focusing on melodies, and there's a heavy section towards the ending and it makes that part hit harder, especially hearing this guy when he goes from singing throughout most of the song to then just like fucking going at it with those lows, and it's fucking cool. I like to think of this song as kind of like a bit more of an aggressive version of Hickory Creek by Whitechapel. I really like the chorus of this song. It's super fucking catchy, and I really like that they're kind of focusing more on melodies, and that they kind of, the song is more built around a melody, and then they add the heaviness that they have on top of it. Because this is definitely them at their most melodic and at their most soft, if you want to use that fucking word. But I also think that is when they're at their best, when they kind of focus on melodies and add the heaviness to it. And I have to admit that I haven't listened to their entire discography, because this is not actually a band that I discovered on my own, really. I have a friend who's an extremely huge Orbit fan, and he showed it to me, and I've really enjoyed a lot of the stuff I've heard, but I feel like this is kind of where they got me, you know? This is the song that kind of turns me into a fan. I like how the song is fucking almost 6 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it at all. And even though it's a lot more melodic, it still feels like Orbit Culture. They changed their style slightly so it doesn't become stale without just kind of destroying what their sound used to be, because it definitely still feels like Orbit Culture, and I think any Orbit Culture fan would really enjoy this. That being said, I only know one person who likes Orbit Culture, so I can't speak for everyone, but the guy I know is a fucking huge fan, so I'm just gonna assume that most Orbit Culture fans would like this as well. And I really fucking do. I didn't expect to like love this as much as I did, but I can say that overall I think this is them at their best, and it's definitely made me want to pay more attention to them, and I'll definitely check out their new albums in the future. And yeah, I also think that some of the lyrics here are really cool. You got in the head, rewinding thoughts of death. In the head, reliving daily death, which I just think is a really cool line. And also just the chorus. I didn't let you go, I'd never let you go so far from my heart, but the clock is ticking. I didn't let you go, I'd never let you go so far from my heart. I think this is definitely worth checking out. There's a ton of stuff to enjoy here. Now it's time to tackle the fucking beast. This fucking beast of an album. Last project of the day. I can't scream because I have neighbors. This last one is the one that I'm probably the most excited for, because you know how I talked about Dealer in the last episode and heavy and nasty fucking metalcore? If that's nasty, I don't even know what to fucking say about this. Holy shit! I am talking about the new album from Reflections called Willow, and I have to kind of tell a story to start off this review. I listened to at least one of the singles from this album, and I was just like, it's extremely heavy. But after that, I kind of forgot about them, and I didn't really listen to them until this new album came out. And when I was gonna listen to it for the first time, I did no research. I was like, okay, I've heard of this band before. I've heard a lot of people talk about it on Twitter, and I genuinely had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't expect it to be that fucking heavy, which is kind of stupid, because if I just like took 3 seconds to just listen to like the single again, I would remember, or I could just look at the fucking artwork of the album, because it just screams fucking depressing, nasty, heavy shit. And god damn, that's exactly what this fucking album is. This is without a doubt the nastiest album I've heard all year so far. The first lyric of the fucking album is, I want out, I didn't ask for this fucking life, with just the most desperate, depressing, nasty vocals you've ever fucking heard. They do this kind of thing where they kind of layer the vocals in the sense that he kind of talks aggressively with screaming in the background, and then it turns into a full-on scream. This is the first thing you hear when you play this album. And then he goes on to say, to tell the truth, I would rather die. And just like, holy shit, this album lyrically is super dark and angry and sad and just perfect. And the sound of the album also really complements the lyrical content, because you can have lyrics like this and not really get your message across, but with how dark and desperate and angry these vocals are, and how low the guitars are, and just how incredibly dark the whole atmosphere of the album is, it really sells it. And when I say that the guitars are low, this album is the definition of, it's not even the guitar anymore. And I have to talk more about these vocals, because holy shit, he goes from having just extremely nasty low to these fucking disturbing highs. And that is really just the best way to describe this album. This is just dark and disgusting and depressive, but in the best way possible. And I think they managed to also create some really catchy shit without ruining the just how fucking brutal and in your face and heavy this album is. One of my favorite songs of this album is the opener, because I think it just opens this album so fucking well. It just, when I said that the dealer EP fucking kidnapped you and doesn't let you go ever, like this album teleports you straight to fucking limbo. And honestly, I really just appreciate it as an album. It's really just a thing where I can listen to the whole thing and just love it all the way through. All I really want to say is that it's dark. It's super fucking dark and angry and sad and therefore perfect. In the last episode, I described the dealer EP as like letting a printer make some metalcore, and this one is similar, except it's a printer from hell. Illusionist is another favorite of mine. I especially love the line, "I hope it fucking hurts." The last song kind of sounds like if you took a song off of You Won't Get What You Want by Daughters and made it metalcore. But the last song lyrically has some pretty hopeful moments. I'm here, I'm still breathing, there's no purpose, you give life its meaning. And I think Ghost is a perfect closer for this album. This is just an enjoyable album, man. Like, this is like perfect for me. I still feel like I could like dive even more into lyrics and just really fucking get invested in it. And that's pretty much all I think I can really say about this album. It's fantastic, and I'm definitely coming back to it. I've been listening to 2 albums a lot lately, and this is one of them, and the other one is the new Amity Affliction album, which I kind of wanted to talk about as well because I really enjoyed it, and I think that's also just a really enjoyable album, so I kind of want to give a shout out to that. Like, I was kind of thinking about either talking about the new Amity Affliction or this one, but I decided to go with this one because first of all, I fucking adore it, and also I want to take every opportunity I have to talk about just disgustingly brutal shit. But anyway, that pretty much does it for this video, I guess. Thank you guys for watching another episode of this show. I'm having a lot of fun making these videos, and I hope you are having fun watching them. Please subscribe. But seriously though, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and also comment what you want me to review in the future, artists that I should look out for, or release dates that I should know about. I'll check out anything, and if I have enough to say about it, I will review it on this show. And also, seriously, if you are new here and you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot, you know. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next week with another episode of this, or another video if I upload something before that. And yeah. Goodbye.